Hello and welcome to episode 26 of this playthrough of The Witness. In today's episode, I want to have a look at a few of the environment puzzles that we missed, and I also want to check out the cinema that's below the windmill that we see there in the distance. I have my food in the oven, and I know there is a 1 hour long puzzle in the cinema, and I'm gonna try and get there by the time I hope before my food is done, and then I'll record that 1 hour long loop, and I'll cut some of that out for you to watch. So let's head back into town first. So there was one puzzle in the town that I was still looking for. Okay, that's lucky. That green ball there, but I need the lights inside to be green. Okay, lights inside was this way up the steps, and then green I believe is the one in the middle, like this. Go back out. And I think that's the last one that was pointing in the direction of the village. Yeah, so of this side, that was this puzzle that we just did. And then there's only these two left, and I think both of those are in the cinema. And this one I still don't really know. I've looked all over on the beach for that if I could find it, but not very successful in my search. And then of course there's also on that obelisk the puzzle in the very start of the game with the gate, but I don't know how to solve that one yet. I know there is, once you finish everything in the mountain area with the puzzles that you have in there, let me see where to go, down this hole. So there is a kind of like a reset of the game, and then I know the gate closes again. But that means that also all of your puzzles get undone, or maybe not undone, but reset at the very least. I think you keep your count, but you don't keep your solutions to puzzles. So that's why I'm trying to solve as much as I can right now before that happens. Okay, so I think the first step is to solve these puzzles that we have over here. How can we do this? So I'm allowed to include 2 mistakes, but only 1 on each side. So perhaps could be something like this then. That we include 1 white on the left side or the outside and 1 black on the inside. Okay, and then here so although these have to be part of the pattern, we can, in theory, also put them to the middle back to back. But this little nubbin in the bottom you cannot cut off. That's annoying. Perhaps like this? I think that works. Okay, and where does this go? This goes back to the town. Alright. Great, so that's the relink there. There is still that one door on the outside that's very... or on that other side here of the hallway that I don't know how to get to. I wonder what direction that actually is. So it lines up with here the village in that direction. It seems to point perhaps to the desert or something. Because it's from here pointing to the windmill, but then even further on. And I believe that this here is part of that 1 hour long puzzle. The white and black lines. So I'll also open my screenshots because I lost my to-do list, but I did take screenshots of everything. So we have this one, for example. So a point along the middle hexagon that can go around and then to the opposite edge, an outside edge. So there's only one start point in the middle, and then opposite is only this end point. Hang on, was it just to the left? No, it takes one whole turn. No, that's not it. Ah, I see. This way.
And so, by a backhanded, upside-down argument,
Aha, Richard Feynman.
That there is in carbon a level at 7.82 million volts, and then experiments in the laboratory showing that there is. And therefore, the existence in the world of all these other elements is very closely related to the fact that there is this particular level in carbon. But the position of this particular level in carbon seems to us, after knowing the physical laws, to be a very complicated accident of 12 complicated particles in collection. So I guess to illustrate by this example that an understanding of the physical laws doesn't give you an understanding, a sense of understanding significance of the world in any way.
I wonder if... Oh, yeah, you can, okay. So you can actually speed up, or rather forward, from, or rather go backward actually, from the end to the start. But how is this one part of the puzzle? I know this is not the 1 hour one. These, by the way, what you're seeing is a great lecture. I've seen it outside of the game. He's such a good speaker. As a former teacher, I admire him, and as a physicist teacher. He's so good at logic. Huh. Okay. That's perhaps one I'll watch, but I don't know how this is a part of a puzzle. How many panels do I have left? I have 4 left, but I think I only have 3 in my screenshots. So let me look for another one. Maybe here. Yeah, okay. Let's see, so from the midpoint, spiraling around. Okay, close but no cigar. Going the other way, I think. Yeah, I remember this one. So it had something to do with this. There we go. So this is also such a long video to just watch of a man trying to get a candle someplace else and it constantly blowing out. It's a test of patience to keep on watching that. And then we're here in the ship. Okay, so going up, around, almost like a cross. Up, over, around.
Imperturbable, and this undisturbability of ourself is not dependent upon the condition of the mind. Right now, you...
Is it that blue flesh or something?
Imperturbable, and for this reason, another name for ourself is peace. Peace is not a quality that ourself has. It is...
There's a couple of times where the screen flashes a bright blue. But what else here is blue? That we could line it up with. Is it also blue from the other side? Let me find a point. So here was one.
Or fighting. We don't need to.
No. Okay, that makes no sense from here.
Right now, you...
Can I stop it? Why is he just sitting there? Is he meditating or something? Now this was unfortunately also not the video that I was looking for, that 1 hour long one. Perhaps I have not actually found the panel yet, which is a little bit annoying. What to do. And then I also don't know how to get up there to that bridge. Like, it looks like this is a staircase that goes up. Is there a side entrance somewhere? There I see a staircase going up. These steps go to the higher level. How do we get past this door? Where does this lead exactly? Okay, so it's on my right. Still on my right, I turn 90 degrees. So I'm trying to orient myself to go out. Huh. Hang on. It's going this way, sort of. So the cinema is below this well, I know. It's this thing. Ah. And then the pathway is going there. Why is it going there? What? So I went out to the left. Maybe that is under the mountain, or rather one of the areas at the end. Because I do remember I have about 5 minutes before my food is ready. Under the desert. Here we had these holes in the floor. But I think when we reached the laser with this lift, that pathway was still blocked at the back of it. So let me just go in and check. Oh, too far this way. So I'm talking about this, but this one is also closed with a panel from that side. So maybe that is actually the end of the game where I remember going in a lot of areas underground. So maybe our only way forward is going to the mountain then. Because I think the last of the panels where you learn about the puzzles in the theater, so those patterns, is also in the mountain. I'm wondering, were there any other areas that we have not solved or not figured out? So this obelisk is not completed yet. What are we still missing? Oh, wait. I thought this was gonna be the bridge that we did in the last episode, but it isn't. So there must be something else in this direction. Okay, no, that's not really it, is it? Okay, I'll see you, for you a second, for me after dinner. So here I am again after dinner. I also, I was so puzzled by the fact that I did not get the solution on that obelisk that I went back and looked at my recording of the episode where I did the town puzzles, the second part there. And turns out I didn't actually complete the bridge there as a puzzle. I was on the wrong level of the tower. And then I said to myself, oh, I should go one level up further and then I can solve this. I went one level up further and totally forgot to complete the puzzle here. So let me climb the tower again. So a bit of forgetfulness on my part, because I was looking for other puzzles in the area. So I think this is the level I should be at. And you can also see when I hover over this, if you've completed a puzzle, it will light up like that with an effect on the edge of it. But this one doesn't light up. That means I haven't actually solved it. That now goes to the obelisk in the quarry and it turns white. So that's also a good progression moment there. So I did actually finish it. I was just going a little crazy there, where I didn't know what to do. I just thought I had already done it. Then I also wanted to have another look here to see if from here I can get a good look at the lake that's over there. Because kind of to track my progress on how I'm doing in the game, I did want to see what has been completed on the lake and what hasn't. So I've explained in a previous episode that this little lake that you have here is sort of a map. Well, not sort of, it is the map of the game. And so this corner of the island is where you start in the castle. You have here the desert area, a little peninsula on the left side with the mirror puzzles. Then here an inlet, the peninsula on this side. And if we go to the game, you can actually see those features here as well. So this has more or less the same shape. Then over here, let me cross the river. Bonked my head on a branch. So this is that little inlet. Then this part would be where the mangrove area is and the color puzzles. The mountain should be about here. Then this, so those rusty pieces that I had been looking at, these are actually the position of the rusty boat or the rusty ship that is that way. And we can also see that you have the flowers and also these clams. So the clams can be either shut or open. And I believe the flowers, what I looked up were, let me open my screenshot for myself. So the clams are actually the cinema puzzles. So if you have discovered the cinema puzzle that's in that area, if the clam is open, that means you have found it. If it's closed, you have not found it. So there should be somewhere in this lake 2 clams that are still closed around the mountain area. Okay, can't immediately see one, but there should be more. I also saw clams on the other side of the lake that were open. But we also still have these flowers that are closed, and those flowers are actually the audio logs. And I assume that this is then an indication of where those audio logs still are that I'm missing. So there must be one over here, which is, I think, the Tetris piece area. And then a few over here, which I think is the mountain. This one is open. That one is open. And then, hang on, so we still also have the fountains, and the fountains are the obelisks. So if the fountain is going very high like this, that means that the obelisk is white. So this is the obelisk in between the castle and the what did I call it? The tree houses, the tree house area. That one is white. This is the quarry, then I assume. This must be the desert. This one I do not have yet. I think that's the town, and we're still missing 3 of the puzzles, a few in the cinema and 1 in the castle at the start of the game. This one is in the jungle, which we have. And then we still have this obelisk, which is the river obelisk. Then we also have these lanterns. And the lanterns are the lasers. So I think if I have it correct, let me see if I can get a good look. If I stand here, that should give me an overview. So we have 1, 2, then here 3, 4, 5, 6 in the background, 7, 8, 9, 10, and I think I missed one while counting. So I got 5 on that side, 6 there, 7, 8, 9, and 11. Okay, 11. And there is 11 lasers in the game. The golden flowers, those are also audio logs, but ones that you find underground. But you need to open the mountain first in order to get there. So looking at this, there must be a bunch of audio logs that I missed. So let me start from the very beginning at the castle. And see what we still need to complete. So this is the castle. We have this one. This is the town obelisk. So there must also be one there. So if that's the tower, this is where the obelisk is, then this must be around the buildings there. So we have the laser, the obelisk, then this may not turn out to be very good content, but I want to get as far into the game as I can before finishing it this time. I've always loved this this game. First time I played it, I was so blown away. So I do want to find as much as I can this time. Okay, I'm gonna skip this one for now and look for the next one. So there is this one in the castle, and then also one there at the glass factory. Or at least in that direction. And the leaf was there, right? This one? And then also on the peninsula. So I think we found the triangle pattern there. Then there was one audio file over here, but I already found this one. There. Can I click it from here?
I am standing on the threshold about to enter a room. It is a complicated business. In the first place, I must shove against an atmosphere pressing with a force of 14 pounds on every square inch of my body. I must make sure of landing on a plank, traveling at 20 miles a second around the sun. A fraction of a second too early or too late, the plank would be miles away. I must do this whilst hanging from a round planet head outward into space and with a wind of ether blowing at no one knows how many miles a second through every interstice of my body. The plank has no solidity of substance. To step on it is like stepping on a swarm of flies. Shall I not slip through? No. If I make the venture, one of the flies hits me and gives me a boost up again.
Electromagnetic
and am
force.
knocked upwards by another fly, and so on. I may hope that the net result will be that I remain about steady, but if, unfortunately, I should slip through the floor or be boosted too violently up to the ceiling, the occurrence would be not a violation of the laws of nature, but a rare coincidence. These are some of the minor difficulties. I ought really to look at the problem four-dimensionally as concerning the intersection of my world line with that of the plank. Then again, it is necessary to determine in which direction the entropy of the world is increasing in order to make sure that my passage of the threshold is an entrance, not an exit. Verily, it is easier for a camel to pass through the eye of a needle than for a scientific man to pass through a door. And whether the door be barn door or church door, it might be wiser that he should consent to be an ordinary man and walk in, rather than wait till all the difficulties involved in a really scientific ingress are resolved. Arthur Eddington, 1927.
Found this one. Hidden behind this little pillar. Oh, it's even hard to click. Can I go behind this way? Yes. Okay.
The physicist Wolfgang Pauli once spoke of two limiting conceptions, both of which have been extraordinarily fruitful in the history of human thought, although no genuine reality corresponds to them. At one extreme is the idea of an objective world, pursuing its regular course in space and time independently of any kind of observing subject. This has been the guiding image of modern science. At the other extreme is the idea of a subject, mystically experiencing the unity of the world and no longer confronted by an object or by any objective world. This has been the guiding image of Asian mysticism. Our thinking moves somewhere in the middle, between these two limiting conceptions. We should maintain the tension resulting from these two opposites. Werner Heisenberg, 1974.
All famous scientists. Pauli, the uncertainty principle. Heisenberg, also famous in quantum mechanics for the uncertainty principle. Pauli is the exclusion principle. So that two electrons cannot occupy the same, or two photons cannot have the same spin, be in the same position at the same point in time. And electrons. There was also further on the peninsula also a flower that had not bloomed yet, so maybe I missed something there. So I remember we found an audio recording. See something? Was it this one? Oh no, I thought we had actually listened to this one already. Where was the other one?
Formerly, you appeared to me, O Lord, as invisible by every creature because you are a hidden, infinite God. Infinity, however, is incomprehensible by every means of comprehending. Later, you appeared to me as visible by all. For a thing exists only as you see it, and it would not actually exist unless it saw you. For your vision confers being, since your vision is your essence. Thus, my God, you are equally invisible and visible. As you are invisible, as the creature is, which exists only insofar as the creature sees you.
I think the other one was somewhere over here.
You, therefore,
perhaps one layer
my
up.
invisible God, are seen by all, and in all sight you are seen by everyone who sees. You who are invisible, who are both absolute from everything visible and infinitely super exalted, are seen in every visible thing and in every act of vision. Therefore, I must leap across this wall of invisible vision to where you are to be found. But this wall is both everything and nothing. For you, who confront as if you were both all things and nothing at all, dwell inside that high wall which no natural ability can scale by its own power. Nicholas of Cusa, 1453.
Okay, can't find where the other one was, but it was somewhere on this island. Maybe another level up. Oh, here it was. Okay, so that one we have. So let's go and have a look how this part is looking now. So these flowers have all opened up. This one is open. That's the new one we found. And these ones we have. Okay, a bunch here that we haven't found. None of them actually. So I don't have to go all the way to the boat. I think on the boat I have everything completed. So castle, mangrove. So yeah, a lot mangrove area, and then this must be Petrus. Okay, so there's a whole lot there. Let's go hunting first. This way. For the one that's over here. This one. So we have the outcropping. And it's just left of the outcropping. So it could be in the building on the left there. That would be a good place to hide one, right? Because, hang on, I think we already found one over there, so we can check. I'm pretty sure I played one there. That must be this one then. Because there's nothing else this way. So it must be farther in the desert then. Now that's a large area to look. That's a very large area. Could be near the tree. I've always been looking up. Perhaps I needed to be looking down. Something like here would be a good place to hide it. But the one in the castle, for example, that was a very sneaky one. So far away you don't really come across it. So that makes me wonder how well these are actually hidden. It could even be hidden in a groove like this. Down there. Maybe here. I think I checked here for the, or at least for the shadow puzzles, but then I was not really on the lookout for the logs. Ah, okay. Well, for the logs.
I maintain that the cosmic religious feeling is the strongest and noblest motive for scientific research. Only those who realize the immense efforts and, above all, the devotion without which pioneer work in theoretical science cannot be achieved are able to grasp the strength of the emotion out of which alone such work, remote as it is from the immediate realities of life, can issue. What a deep conviction of the rationality of the universe, and what a yearning to understand, were it but a feeble reflection of the mind revealed in this world, Kepler and Newton must have had to enable them to spend years of solitary labor in disentangling the principles of celestial mechanics. Those whose acquaintance with scientific research is derived chiefly from its practical results easily develop a completely false notion of the mentality of the men who, surrounded by a skeptical world, have shown the way to kindred spirits scattered wide through the world and through the centuries. Only one who has devoted his life to similar ends can have a vivid realization of what has inspired these men and given them the strength to remain true to their purpose in spite of countless failures. It is cosmic religious feeling that gives a man such strength. A contemporary has said, not unjustly, that in this materialistic age of ours, the serious scientific workers are the only profoundly religious people. Albert Einstein, 1930.
So listening to that quote, it all depends what you would describe as religious. If religious means you have a belief, a conviction, oh, okay, there's one, in something and trying to grasp something bigger than yourself, if that is what they call a religious belief, then yeah, you could say science is that, because it is theory, and if something disproves theory, you have to adjust your point of view to envelop that new understanding, including the new theory, the new thing that you're looking for. But if religion means believing in a god or a pattern that comes from something greater than yourself, then I disagree. For me, for example, science is a need for understanding or quest for understanding, but it's not from a viewpoint of what was the thing that made me and everything around me the way it is. Like for me, it is randomness, fluctuations in fields, 0-point energy, fluctuations on a quantum level, and saying that you need a god or anything for that, for me, is something I cannot even grasp. I don't know how it feels to believe in a god, but if you describe religion as holding a belief that you want to find something greater than yourself, perhaps, in this quote, because I think Einstein also believed in God, by the way. So it could be that he was actually pointing to religion as believing in God. But for me, those two don't intersect necessarily. I just get amazed every time I learn something new, but I don't put it in the context of, wow, something made this. Okay, next audio log. So I saw this one next to the lantern in the middle.
66 times have these eyes beheld the changing scene of autumn. I have said enough about moonlight.
This one.
Ask no more. Only listen to the voice of pines and cedars when no wind stirs. Leonin, 1711.
Oh, that was a short one. So this must be in the castle. Because this is the castle laser. This one we found near where the rock star was playing. This one we found. And so it's close to where the rock star is. Okay, the castle area. So perhaps in the area with the statues then. Seems like all of the flowers are kind of grouped together there. So I did wonder why this platform was here, so perhaps it is to see a recording that is higher up. Although I don't necessarily see one. So let's find at least those two that I already had. So was there one by the bodyguard? So one was here by the rock star. This one I found. And the other, was it by these party goers somewhere? The garbage man? Yeah. Okay, so we have one. Let me orient myself. So one by the garbage man, which is farther out than the rock star. So if the map is correct, it should be around here where these people are. At their feet. Perhaps at the panel. No. How about the bodyguard? King and the queen, maybe? Not on the throne. Aha, yes. On this throne.
Our hangnails are incredibly real to us. Whereas to most of us, the English village of Nether Wallop and the high Himalayan country of Bhutan, not to mention the slowly swirling spiral galaxy in Andromeda, are considerably less real. Even though our intellectual selves might wish to insist that since the latter are much bigger and longer lasting than our hangnails, they ought therefore to be far realer to us than our hangnails are. We can say this to ourselves till we're blue in the face, but few of us act as if we really believed it. A slight slippage of subterranean stone that obliterates 20,000 people in some far-off land. The ceaseless plundering of virgin jungles in the Amazon basin. A swarm of helpless stars being swallowed up, one after another, by a ravenous black hole. Even an ongoing collision between two huge galaxies, each of which contains 100 billion stars. Such colossal events are so abstract to someone like me that they can't even touch the sense of urgency and importance, and thus the reality, of some measly little hangnail on my left hand's pinky. We are all egocentric, and what is realist to each of us in the end is ourself. The realest things of all are my knee, my nose, my anger, my hunger, my toothache, my side ache, my sadness, my joy, my love for math, my abstraction ceiling, and so forth. What all these things have in common What binds them together is the concept of my, which comes out of the concept of I or me, and therefore, although it is less concrete than a nose or even a toothache, this I thing is what ultimately seems to each of us to constitute the most solid rock of undeniability of all. Could it possibly be an illusion? Or if not a total illusion, could it possibly be less real and less solid than we think it is? Could an I be more like an elusive, receding, shimmering rainbow than like a tangible, heftable, transportable pot of gold? Douglas Hofstadter, 2007.
That quote, I don't know. It just sounds like you have not comprehended enough so that things seem uncomprehendable to you. And I get that some things are more real the closer they hit to home. I don't know. That doesn't make things that you have more trouble comprehending less real. It's everything in mathematics and science is at some point not comprehended. But now that we know them, does it make them any less real? No, not really. If that's your interpretation, of course, that any future discovery right now seems less real, that kind of disproves the scientific method or breaks the scientific method. Okay, next.
These hearts were woven of human joys and cares, washed marvelously with sorrow, swift to mirth. The years had given them kindness. Dawn was theirs, and sunset, and the colors of the earth. These had seen movement and heard music, known slumber and waking, loved, gone proudly friended, felt the quick stir of wonder, sat alone, touched flowers and furs and cheeks. All this is ended. There are waters blown by changing winds to laughter, and lit by the rich skies all day. And after, frost, with a gesture, stays the waves that dance and wandering loveliness. He leaves a white, unbroken glory, a gathered radiance, a width, a shining peace under the night. Rupert Brooke, 1914.
Some of these are a bit more poetic than others, so I came back to have a quick look where that flower was positioned. So there should be one in between this one and the laser, but it could be higher up because I explored everything down. So in a straight line from that all the way to probably where the boat is. So we should have 3 more. So a good point to hide one would be near this bridge, because it's kind of the end of the area. Damn, these are still down. Darn. Okay, this makes it a bit harder that we have to go back. So let's take the boat from the quarry. Oh, our boat is still here. That's handy. And head back to the mangrove area. Full speed. I wonder, did I ever take this path? I don't know if it's possible to go this way and around. Let's take it just to see what's there. Oh, it just goes under the platform. It would be a good place to hide a puzzle. Let me go past the lady lying down. So I did stand on these rocks coming from the other side, wondering why all of those outcroppings were there. But this explains it. They're part of that design. And I think you wouldn't want to put other things on there because it would ruin the view. So it did seem like there was also an audio log on this side. So perhaps I need to have another look around on these platforms down here, because that might also be where they hid a recording. Like here, for example.
God bade me behold the sea, and I saw the ships
There I go,
sinking
about
and the
ships.
planks floating. Then the planks too were submerged. And God said to me, "Those who voyage are not saved." And he said to me, "Those who, instead of voyaging, cast themselves into the sea, take a risk." And he said to me, "Those who voyage and take no risk shall perish." And he said to me, "In taking the risk, there is a part of salvation." And the wave came and lifted those beneath it and overran the shore. And he said to me, "The surface of the sea is a gleam that cannot be reached, and the bottom is a darkness impenetrable. And between the two are great fishes, which are to be feared." Nefari, circa 970.
Those who voyage. What? Oh. That was so strange. I started commenting and the recording was not finished. And it suddenly went, "What? Are you commenting?" Sorry, lady. I'll shut up. Let me have a look. So here we had a panel that we have solved. And this is also an area that is just out here for no other reason than this. Does this one have any side entrances or other exits? Yes, it does. What was it again? I think like this. Does the right go anywhere? Never tested it, so cannot hurt. Could be hiding a log on a branch here. And there it is. Curiosity, man, helps in this game.
When we choose silence, we choose to give up the reasons not to love, which are the reasons for going to war, or continuing war, or separating, or being a victim, or being right. In a moment of silence, in a moment of no thought, no mind, we choose to give those up. This is what my teacher invited me to. Just choose silence. Don't even choose love. Choose silence, and love is apparent. If we choose love, We already have an idea of what love is. But if you choose silence, that is the end of ideas. You are willing to have no idea, to see what is present when there is no idea. Past, present, future. No idea of love, no idea of truth, no idea of you, no idea of me. Love is apparent. Gangaji, 2009.
Okay, love or silence? Okay, this one. Oh, I can go on the top of the roof. Don't think I did that before. Now, the fact that we can do this could be hinting for an audio log. Thought for a second that this was one, but it's part of that panel that is broken off. Doesn't seem like this goes anywhere. Or this line of reasoning, I mean, goes anywhere. Okay, anyway, we are back to the bridge, so I can now quickly, or rather quickly, make my way back to the pond, the lake in the middle. So let's have a sneak peek. What? What? I thought this was the one we had with the boat. Is it this side, perhaps, that sticks out? So then this must have been the one where the boat lands. Now that does make sense on the map, and then we also have these two already completed. This must be like the outside of the Tetris area where the boat stops. And then farther inland, we also have this one here. Yeah, that's an area I haven't really checked out. That must be top of the mountain or something. And then there we're missing pretty much all of them. And what is there? No, that's the color area, right? Yeah, so those two must be in the Tetris area. That one must also be perhaps more central. So this was the one where I am right now, the one I found here. And so it's in straight line to there. Oof, but this is also, oh, what's here? Haven't seen that before. Okay, we have a paintress. Is she hiding an audio log? She has all the right colors to paint the area. It's even a bit of a map, more or less. Although no, the blue would be there. Okay, damn, hiding audio logs here. What are they doing? So it would help if I could find one to orient myself, but we are blocked. Looks like something we'll get to from the other side of the mountain. Then hang on, does this path not go anywhere? I thought this was... That's suspicious, isn't it? Awfully, awfully suspicious. But it looks like suspicious for the other side. Wait, this and this do not lead down. So I'm trying to make my way to the end of the Tetris area. So let's go there first. All of these dead end, and I thought there was a path to get to where the laser is. Perhaps I do need to go around the mountain. So just to confirm something for myself, if I follow this side all the way up, I did find this panel when I was looking for the cloud puzzle here. Anyway, I have that one already. Can't remember how it lines up. Might be this direction. Yeah. But I already have that one. But then I also remember when I was here, there was this audio log.
The most beautiful experience we can have is the mysterious. It is the fundamental emotion that stands at the cradle of true art and true science. Whoever does not know it and can no longer wonder, no longer marvel, is as good as dead and his eyes are dimmed. It was the experience of mystery, even if mixed with fear, that engendered religion. A knowledge of the existence of something we cannot penetrate, our perceptions of the profoundest reason and the most radiant beauty, which only in their most primitive forms are accessible to our minds. It is this knowledge and this emotion that constitute true religiosity. In this sense, and in this alone, I am a deeply religious man. I cannot conceive of a God who rewards and punishes his creatures, or has a will of the kind that we experience in ourselves. Neither can I, nor would I, want to conceive of an individual that survives his physical death. Let feeble souls, from fear or absurd egoism, cherish such thoughts. I am satisfied with the mystery of the eternity of life, and with the awareness and a glimpse of the marvelous structure of the existing world, together with the devoted striving to comprehend a portion, be it ever so tiny, of the reason that manifests itself in nature. Albert Einstein, 1931.
So this quote, again we have this little flower which puzzles me. So we had a quote before, I think that was the one from the shadow area, the autumn trees there. That was also from Einstein, where he spoke about religiosity and science being a kind of, or fitting with that religion. But this explains it, and so he does not actually see God necessarily as religion, but rather the search for something greater. So every time I find these flowers, and a couple of times they've actually meant something, and they've given me a hint of what to do. Now I'm so close to the top of the mountain, but I'm gonna save that for another episode. So the way to this laser is a lot more difficult than I remembered. I thought you could sneak through on the other side, but it must be this side then. Now also discovered, so we have this waterfall, and I've been here before, but you can see that there's a panel or a door hidden behind there, and you can even step through these trees and see the door from here with that blue light and water reflecting, but also a door that only opens from the other side. Now they could have definitely hid a laser, an audio recording in one of these cages. And we have again a little flower. I wonder if that's an Easter egg. Everything is suspicious. Everything. Now I think I do want to ferry myself to the other side here. Why is this black stone here? Is that always there? I am missing a lot of puzzles in this area, so could be that I missed something. Because now it looks very circular, doesn't it? I only need a bit of extra shadow. Oh, wait. No way. Okay. I think those are actually two solutions. One in which it's turning the other way. Ah, damn it. And I already activated it, of course. Okay, let's have a look around on the rocks and such. Or can I do it from here? That would be good. I can go around the cage. Now that would be a magnificent place to hide a recording, wouldn't it? Unfortunately, I'm wrong. Could it then be part of a puzzle? We have those black edges. Is there one that ends in a rounded shape? Wonder if you can get the color to match up with the lady. Yeah, I think I'm screwed for either one of them. I think there's 2 puzzles in there. Hiding. There is also this orange painted cage. Especially with something like this. That going out. Then going up. It does perhaps bridge there. And go down. Yeah, that does seem like it's part of something, doesn't it? Do I have a circle? I have a boat. And I know there's a circle on the front of the boat. What if we get a boat? What way does it face? Ah, there is a circle on the back of the boat. Here. Although the orange is a bit darker than I thought it would be. But there's 2 circles, or what? Yeah, this thing definitely must be part of a puzzle, perhaps in another harbor. Okay, so I definitely want to line this up. Step to the right. And I also wonder if there's a way to get the reflection. Don't think so. What about if my little boat is turned the other way? And then maybe I can line it up with another one of these orange lines. So this was one we used in another area. Don't think I can use it here. Still haven't really found any logs, though. We have all these areas, which is part of the lady lying down. So maybe I said they didn't hide anything there, or at least no panels or something. But it could be a good place to hide an audio log. Yeah, there we go.
We have 2 kinds of knowledge which I call symbolic and intimate. I do not know whether it would be correct to say that reasoning is only applicable to symbolic knowledge, but the more customary forms of reasoning have been developed for symbolic knowledge only. The intimate knowledge will not submit to codification and analysis, or rather, when we attempt to analyze it, the intimacy is lost and replaced by symbolism. For an illustration, let us consider humor. I suppose that humor can be analyzed to some extent and the essential ingredients of the different kinds of wit classified. Suppose that we are offered an alleged joke. We subject it to scientific analysis as we would a chemical salt of doubtful nature, and perhaps after careful consideration, we are able to confirm that it really and truly is a joke. Logically, I suppose, our next procedure would be to laugh. But it may certainly be predicted that as the result of this scrutiny, we shall have lost all inclination we ever had to laugh at it. It simply does not do to expose the workings of a joke. The classification concerns a symbolic knowledge of humor, which preserves all the characteristics of a joke except its laughableness. The real appreciation must come spontaneously, not introspectively. I think this is a not unfair analogy for our mystical feeling for nature, and I would venture even to apply it to our mystical experience of God. There are some to whom the sense of a divine presence irradiating the soul is one of the most obvious things of experience. In their view, a man without this sense is to be regarded as we regard a man without a sense of humor. The absence as a kind of mental deficiency. We may try to analyze the experience as we analyze humor and construct a theology, or it may be an atheistic philosophy. Let us not forget that the theology is symbolic knowledge, whereas the experience is intimate knowledge. And as laughter cannot be compelled by the scientific exposition of the structure of a joke, so a philosophic discussion of the attributes of God, or an impersonal substitute, is likely to miss the intimate response of the spirit, which is the central point of the religious experience. Arthur Eddington, 1927.
Okay, so I'm a little bit lost where to stand with this. Here could be a good place, maybe. So I think both. I think there's two solutions. So the reason I think that is because all of these panels have a zigzag motion. And right now it's colored two shades of gray. One because there is light on it, falling on it on the left side. One is in shadow. And I think there's a dark solution. So this would be the light solution. But you can also angle this from the other side, where you see only the dark edges of these pips, and then you would have them in the other direction. So I think these are two solutions, but both of them require this thing to turn the way it's going to turn now. But it's a bit tricky because I don't know where to exactly stand to solve them. Because if I keep angling myself, where is the sun? Hang on. I think I need to stand behind the sun or in front of the sun. So I want both sides to catch an equal amount of sun. Oh, so maybe it is only one solution then. Because you cannot have it both ways, right? Now I didn't see where this one went. I think the river obelisk. And then we also had that recording over there. We also had an underground area. Let's check that one. Here is one, but I already played it.
A poet once said, "The whole universe is in a glass of wine." We will probably never know in what sense he meant that, for poets do not write to be understood. But it is true that if we look at a glass of wine closely enough, we see the entire universe. There are the things of physics, the twisting liquid which evaporates depending on the wind and weather, the reflections in the glass, and our imagination adds the atoms. The glass is a distillation of the Earth's rocks, and in its composition we see the secrets of the universe's age and the evolution of stars. What strange array of chemicals are in the wine? How did they come to be? There are the ferments, the enzymes, the substrates, and the products. There in wine is found the great generalization. All life is fermentation. Nobody can discover the chemistry of wine without discovering, as did Louis Pasteur, the cause of much disease. How vivid is the claret, pressing its existence into the consciousness that watches it. If our small minds, for some convenience, divide this glass of wine, this universe, into parts, physics, biology, geology, astronomy, psychology, and so on, remember that nature does not know it. So let us put it all back together, not forgetting ultimately what it is for. Let it give us one more final pleasure. Drink it and forget it all. Richard Feynman, 1963.
So a couple of these recordings come also back to the idea. I don't know if that is what they're implying. Do not overthink too much. Which is kind of ironic for a game like this, to be talking about not overthinking when everything here is so utterly like overthinkable. I don't know how to say it otherwise. Like that cute little flower there. So let's head back and have a look at our data. So we have here the river obelisk that I want to check out now. To see how we are doing in the Tetris area. Still missing 2. So this one was on the boat. This one was down with the shadows, where you could flick the panel one way or the other. And then there is still these 2. Where could that be? Something like an arch. And this looks like the flow of a river. It has a very natural curve. I was thinking the path, perhaps. So there is the wooden footpath. And then these, where do these point? What was that again? Yeah, I can't remember. Okay, so what I'm talking about is you go on these planks. So I'm talking about this path. That's sort of curved. Okay, can I see something from here? Why is it showing me this lady? What is she looking at? It is very picturesque. For sure. Could be something in these flowers there in red. Maybe from the top of the mountain. Because that is a perspective that we've so far completely ignored. So this little thingy here. What if I can look at that from up above? Because it does have that curve, doesn't it? Last thing I'm gonna do is have a quick look at the lake, or the pond in the middle. How we are doing on the audio recording. So this one is still missing, but I thought I had it with the lady with the folded hands, but that must have been this one. So why is this so far out? If this is the boat and this is a boat, or close to a boat, what the hell is this? Okay. More what the hell questions in the next episode. Thank you for watching. I will have cut a lot of this up for you in the editing. So for you it was a short time. For me it was like three hours of hunting. So thanks for watching and see you in the next episode.